Welcome back at 3D for Dummies. Today we're going to talk about the most underrated animation tool in the industry right now. That's right, I'm talking about motionbuilder, right? A lot of people tend to bypass this amazing software. Why? Because you can record any motion capture data that's out there, right? Live. That's right, motion capture. Stuff that's already made. So let's take a quick look at motionbuilder, right? How does this work? Well, let me give you some quick hotkeys. Sometimes when you bring in a model like this model that is provided for you under this link, right? You can subscribe, not subscribe. I don't really give a shit. However, I do want to show you exactly how this works. So the first thing that I want to show you is the panels, right? If you hit Control 1, well, nothing happens because that's just one panel. But if you hit Control 2, you have two panels, one with the front, one with perspective. If you hit Control 3, then you have three panels, and then you get the top. If you hit Control 4, then now you have four panels. Pretty easy, right? Easy breezy. Hit Control 1 again. So let's get back to our perspective. So let's do this again, right? Control 1, 2, 3, 4, and go back to Control 1, and there you go. Now, since we're talking about panels, right? If I hit Control E, we're back to a camera. Well, sort of like a perspective, right? If I hit Control R, that'll be my side. And if I hit Control R again one more time, then that's the other side, right? There's right and there's left. So Control R, Control R. Control F for front. Control F again for back. So basically Control F has front and back, and Control R is left and right. Let's try this again, right? Control 1, 2, 3, 4. Control 1 again to get back to my producer rights, as they call it. But let's hit Control E for perspective. Yay! Right? Okay, so when you open this file, you probably won't see any joints. So you're going to have to hit Control A in order for you to open the skeleton display and cameras or whatsoever, right? So hit Control A, and there you go. So why is motionbuilder so powerful? Why is 3D for Dummies telling us that this is an underrated software that's out there? Oh no, that's my cat. Shut up. Okay. So if I hit play or hit Control Spacebar, now you'll see the animation. You'll notice that we have some feet slide, as you can see, and this is what the software is all about, right? Just fixing animation, and that's what we call retargeting. Just in case if you didn't know, right? I can still hit Control A, so I don't have a display. All right, so this character is provided for you, by the way. It is here on the link. I think I said that twice, but let's get back to it. Hit Control A again so that now we can take a look at our character. I'm going to hit Control Space so that I can stop, right? And let's just go back to keyframe 1, and you'll notice that we also have a camera. So the way that motionbuilder works also, and I'll make this really quick for this tutorial, is that everything is lined under the asset browser. So this is where you'll find pretty much everything you need for motionbuilder. It's right here. Yes, it's a very important section right here. Yes, it's right here. You'll notice that my key controllers are pretty big, but I want to make sure that this is smaller, right? So the asset browser is definitely one of the most important elements of motionbuilder. Why? Because this is where you can have everything that's reliable, right? So constraints, commands, connections, right, from Unreal Live to motionbuilder, devices for other motion capture services, facial motion capture, everything, all kinds of things. This is a really powerful tool, by the way, right? But what I'm looking for is basically our elements. By the way, this tool is even better than Blender, than ZBrush when it comes to modeling. Yep, you never knew this, right? I'll check this model out. Huh? Can you beat that? No, you can't beat that. Screw you, ZBrush. You think you can model? I'll show you modeling. Yeah? Huh? How about that for topology? Yeah, that's how you bring in models. This is a drag and drop job for this one. You want a camera? There it is. There's another camera in there, right? So it's really, really that simple when it comes to elements. And oh, by the way, it was just a joke. You can't not model in motionbuilder, right? It's just built for blockouts or whatsoever, right? But you can make some really killer previs, right? And previs equals pre-visualization, of course. All right, so now that we have that, we also have a camera inside. So if you want to take a look at your camera view, hit Control I, which is called the inspector. And if I were to hit play, well, my camera's not really animated, but I am in camera view right now because I hit Control 1, and it's usually called a switcher. There's also a navigator right here, so it'll tell you exactly. It kind of works like the outliner for Maya, right? So I'm gonna open the scene right here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but here, let's push that out, and as you can see, there it is. Right, so there are multiple ways to look at panels inside of Motion Builder. So now I have my animation, everything's there. You can take a look at your elements through the outliner, or you can hit Control W. And through Control W, now this is more like the node editor, right? This I prefer this node editor other than the outliner because it takes a while to reach where you want to be, right? You sort of have to expand stuff, or there are other couple of ways to get to a certain joint. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that this is sort of like a node-based system. Not quite, but you know, in order for you to get around and maybe select the joints that you want so that you can add a keyframe to it. That's so much easier to work with. Hit Control W, Control W. Let's do a quick recap, right? If you still remember this, hit Control 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 panels. Hit Control 1 to get back to normal. Hit Control E for perspective. Yay! Control F, front, back. Control R, left, right. Let's go to Control E. Now we're back, right? Hit Control A for display. Right? And that will be all that we need to know for some. These are basically the basics of Motion Builder. And you also see that we have an HIK system. This is called the HIK system. We have to create a definition for a character in order for us to retarget. Here's what I mean. This is worked through like a puppet, right? So if I want to select my face, here it is, I can retarget this animation. So this is how Motion Builder usually works. So when you are ready for retargeting, you have these layers, right? So this, the base animation, is the layer. And this layer really tells you right here that there are too many keys for edits. So if I were to, let's scale this timeline, you'll notice that, yes, it is big. There are so many keyframes that Motion Builder literally tells you there are too many keys for edits. You cannot see anything, therefore you must scale it down, right? So that now we have all the keyframes of the world. But how do we retarget? Let's say I want to make my character look at me while she's animated, right? So it's all about just animation layers, basic fundamentals of animation, right? I'm pretty sure you know this. Or if you don't, now you know. Just simply select the head and add an animation layer. Maybe you want to rename it. So to rename, right mouse click and hit rename. We're going to call this one Look at Me. And that's it. If you take a look at the timeline or this layer, you'll notice that we have no more keyframes. If I were to select the base animation, we have tons of keyframes. But then again, if you go back to look at me, we have no more keyframes, right? So tons of keyframes and no keyframes at all. Makes sense, right? So now I can actually get ready to animate my head. So the animation starts maybe in a few keyframes right here. So I think there it is. And by the way, this was me in motion capture suit. So only for educational purposes. So I'm going to set a keyframe right here on 266. No, that's 38 right there. Okay, so on 38, we're going to start with an animation, and we're going to have this character just look at me. What you looking at? Yeah. Let's just have her look at me for this animation. And set a keyframe. So now if I were to go back, there we go. Hit Control A, just so that you can have a clear visual of your skeleton. Awesome. So now that we have the animation that we want, you can bake the animation. If you don't want to bake it, it's not that important for right now. But if you do want to bake your animation, you are content with what you have. I'm going to scale my timeline. That was a quick pause. You can shift select both layers and merge the layers together. Right? So it is definitely the current layer. We're not making any smart plots. Yeah, let's bypass this and just merge. Just merge. Yeah, just merge. Okay, so now we have only one base animation layer. And if we were to scoot that down, let's see this. Awesome. Let's take a look at my skeleton. Awesome.